Hello, it's April from April's Home, and today I'm here to share with you my Cherry Jello Fluff Salad. This is a classic recipe and a wonderful sweet side dish for barbecues and holiday parties. I love to make this in all sorts of flavors. I use a lime for Christmas time, I use orange for harvest season, and for summer I usually use cherry or raspberry. Today I'm using cherry. So you will need a 6-ounce box of Jell-o in whatever flavor you like, but in this case cherry, 3 cans of fruit cocktail. Since this is a cherry Jell-o recipe, I've chosen the very cherry fruit cocktail, but you can use any 15-ounce can of fruit cocktail that you like. You'll need 2 thawed out containers of Cool Whip. These are the 8-ounce containers. Again, you'll want to thaw those out in the refrigerator. You'll need some marshmallows, a cup of hot water. You might be able to see that this is steaming hot here. We're going to dump the Jell-o in here any minute now. And I like to have a few maraschino cherries to garnish the salad with. You'll also need a big mixing bowl. We'll go ahead and mix it all together in here, and then I'll transfer it to a serving dish. So I'm going to clear away some of these items here and make room to mix up our Jell-o in our cup of hot water. Okay, so I microwaved this cup of water for a couple of minutes. It wasn't quite boiling, but it was definitely hot. We need it to be hot enough to dissolve this Jell-o. So we're going to pour the 6-ounce packet of cherry Jell-o into the hot water here. We're going to stir it around until it starts dissolving. If it seems like it's way too hot, I will probably add a couple of ice cubes to this just to help it to cool down a little bit before we mix it in with our Cool Whip. You just want to mix this around fairly quickly so it doesn't start setting up or anything till you see that all the Jell-o is dissolved in the hot water. This mixture is still fairly hot, so I'm going to go ahead and add a couple of ice cubes. I think a couple of ice cubes will do just fine there. I don't want to add too much more water to this, so 2 or 3 ice cubes is usually all I add. And I just stir those around as the Jell-o continues to dissolve. The ice cubes should melt, and if they don't, I just pluck them out before I add this mixture and the Cool Whip together in our big mixing bowl here. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and set this aside and open up both of my Cool Whip tubs and add them to this big mixing bowl. You don't need a mixing bowl this big. This is just the only one that I have right now. I've been mixing up a bunch of different salads today, so I'm using up all of my bowls. But you do want a bowl big enough because there's a lot of volume in Cool Whip and Jell-o and marshmallows and all that. So you want a lot of room to be able to blend everything together. So now I'm going to get the Cool Whip in my mixing bowl. So I've got my Cool Whip in the bowl, and now I'm going to add the Jell-o to the Cool Whip. Smells delicious. Very cherry flavor. And I've got a spatula here. I'm going to start by folding it in, but I will whisk it in as well here in just a bit. You just want to incorporate the Jell-o into the Cool Whip. I'm going to use my whisk for a little while, but I'll come back with that spatula here in a bit. You just want to mix this until you've got the Jell-o mixture in there nice and smooth with the Cool Whip and totally combined. Now I'm going to go back in with my spatula and just make sure that all of the Jell-o from the bottom has been incorporated and all the Cool Whip from the sides. Kind of make sure to mix that all in. Next, we're going to go ahead and add in our drained fruit cocktail. You want to make sure to drain that really well because you don't want to add in a bunch of extra liquid. Okay, and now I'll use my spatula to fold this in. And then next we will add in our marshmallows. We're only going to use about half to 3/4 of this bag here. This is a 16-ounce bag of marshmallows. I'm going to start with about half. I'll stir that in and see how many more I want to add, so you can see what it looks like here. This cherry color is so pretty. It's a very vibrant pink. Add in a few more marshmallows here. Okay, it's about 3/4 of the bag there. And that's pretty much all there is to it. We will go ahead and transfer this into its serving dish here in just a minute, and we'll cover that with saran wrap and let it set up. After it is set up, we will add the maraschino cherries to the top. I like to cut them in half and put them in a circle on the top of the salad here. This needs to chill for quite a few hours. I usually like to make this the night before I'm going to serve it, just so it has a chance to really set up nicely. So that is all there is to it. You can also add more fruits if you want to. Sometimes I'll add an additional can of fruit cocktail. Sometimes I'll add some mandarin oranges and things like that. But today I'm just going to keep this simple with the fruit cocktail and the marshmallows. And again, we'll garnish that with the cherries. So now I'm going to go ahead and get this transferred to its serving dish. So here's our cherry jello fluff in its serving bowl. You can't really tell in this lighting, but this is a really pretty iridescent bowl. I'm going to go ahead now and cover this with some saran wrap and chill this in the fridge overnight. In the morning, I will top it with my cherries and show you how it turned out. Okay, so it is the next morning, and here is my cherry jello fluff salad. It looks delicious. It's set up beautifully. You can see I have garnished it with little half maraschino cherries, and it is looking beautiful and definitely all ready to go for our barbecue. This is such a fun and delicious recipe. It's a really sort of a light, nice sweet item to have along with all of your other side dishes. For those who don't really want a dessert, this kind of can step in and be a little bit like a dessert and a side dish. I would love to know in the comments if you serve a Jell-o fluff salad as one of your classic side dishes, or if you grew up eating side dishes like this. I hope you enjoyed taking a look at my recipe for cherry Jell-o fluff salad. I hope you give this recipe a try. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll talk to you later. Goodbye.